In today's age, temptation is everywhere. A single click gives you access to more provocative imagery than ancient rulers could ever imagine. One swipe connects you to more women than your grandfather met in his entire life. But what feels like abundance carries a hidden trap, because when closeness becomes easy, it loses value. And when something loses value, it becomes a tool of manipulation.
Men who can't discipline their impulses end up being led by them. Their urges dictate their behavior. Their emotions guide their choices. And women, they notice. They sense the lack of self-control. Many men believe that women desire a man who showers them with affection, praise, and non-stop attention. But in truth, women aren't drawn to the man who's constantly craving them. They're drawn to the man who doesn't need to. The man who feels the pull but isn't enslaved by it. The one who can look desire in the eye and still choose his mission over momentary gratification. Because in a world full of men desperate for a sliver of attention, the one who pauses, who says not now, becomes unforgettable. Machiavelli may not have written extensively about lust, but he gave us a rule that defines it all. A man who cannot control himself will be controlled by others. That's exactly what we see now. If you don't lead your own impulses, someone else will. This isn't a message about rejecting women or becoming celibate. It's about mastering yourself so no one else can. And once you absorb the 5 principles I'm about to reveal, you'll understand why control makes you magnetic, why discipline makes you dangerous, and why the man who doesn't chase becomes the man she runs toward. Let's begin. Principle 1. The man who delays gratification becomes the one she can't predict. Most men crave to feel wanted, but the man who lacks discipline, he rushes. The moment he's attracted, he overreaches, talks too soon, touches too quickly, tries too hard. He believes he's being confident, but what she feels is desperation, because desire without control looks like neediness. He doesn't realize it, but every compliment, every unfiltered message, every attempt to impress exposes the truth. He's not leading, he's reacting. And women sense that, not through logic but intuition. They lose interest in the man who gives himself away too easily, because what's easily given is rarely treasured. Machiavelli said it best: the wise act slowly but strike with certainty. In dating, that means restraint isn't weakness, it's strength. Waiting builds mystery. Moving with patience creates gravity. The man who doesn't rush in becomes the one she thinks about in silence. What does that look like in your life? If you've just met her, don't overload her with compliments. Don't plan the entire future by the 3rd message. Let silence elevate your worth. Let time cultivate interest. Let curiosity work for you. If you're already seeing her, don't be quick to initiate touch. Let moments develop. Let desire simmer. Reveal not how much you want her, but how much strength you carry by not needing to act on it. Speak less. Move slower. Look deeper. But don't chase. Because the man who delays the flame controls the fire. And women sense that. They sense when you feel attraction, but remain unshaken. Most men try to earn attention. You let her wonder what it takes to earn yours. And that she never forgets. Principle 2. The man who leads his own desires can't be led by hers. Many weak men think that chasing desire is strength, that fulfilling every craving is freedom. But here's the cold truth: if you can't say no, then you're not in control. You're following. The man ruled by impulse doesn't lead. He chases. He reacts. And often women test this. A bit of flirtation, a glimpse of skin, and then they wait. Not out of cruelty but curiosity. They want to know, are you solid or just pretending? Are you grounded or do your instincts run the show? If she can change your schedule, steal your focus, or shift your values just by looking good, she doesn't feel admiration. She feels power. And once she senses that leverage, the game changes. Not to hurt you, but to see if you crumble when tested. Machiavelli stated it plainly. He who is ruled by his appetites forfeits the ability to rule others. So what does this mean for your daily life? If you can't stay on task unless you're satisfied, if you abandon your goals the moment desire whispers, you're not in command. You're orbiting temptation. And the more you give in, the less she sees a man, and the more she sees a captive. Flip the dynamic. When temptation arises, don't fight it. Acknowledge it. Accept it. Then redirect it into your purpose, into your growth, into your strength. Let your restraint speak volumes. Let your poise tell your story. Because when she sees the fire in your gaze and realizes it doesn't control you, that's when respect enters the room. Principle 3. The man who doesn't crave approval shapes the frame. Validation. It's the silent addiction that governs most men. They dress to impress. They post for attention. They flirt to be affirmed. Even in relationships, they beg for confirmation. Do I look good today? Do you still want me? And slowly, they lose control of the dynamic. Because the man who needs to be noticed will always feel invisible when he's not. Now compare that to the man who's past the need to be validated. He doesn't post to be seen. He doesn't dress to be desired. He doesn't chase reactions. He lives by values, not feedback. By principle, not performance. By direction, not approval. Machiavelli would call him unforgettable. He once said, "It is better to be respected than to be loved." And today, that translates to this: the man who commands respect, whether dating or committed, wins deeper loyalty than the one always seeking praise. In your life, this might look like walking into a room while others seek validation. You remain composed, observant, grounded. Or maybe you're in a relationship. She dresses up. She wants attention, but you don't compete for it. You already know your worth. You don't ask for reassurance. You reflect strength through posture, purpose, and peace. Because here's the reality. If you need others to make you feel valid, they'll always be able to move you. But if you affirm yourself, you become the mirror others want to reflect in. So here's the move. Stop trying to impress. Start becoming undeniable. Let your life speak louder than your compliments. Let your presence quiet her doubts. That isn't arrogance. That's masculine self-respect. And in a world addicted to emotional exhibitionism, restraint is the rarest form of power. Principle 4. The man who channels desire becomes irresistible. Most men are drained by desire without realizing it. They burn their energy scrolling, fantasizing, indulging in brief highs. They call it relaxing, but it's erosion. Each time they chase pleasure without purpose, they lose sharpness. The fire that fuels ambition fades. Thoughts get foggy. Focus scatters. Goals drift away. Now contrast that with a man who contains his fire. He doesn't suppress it. He commands it. He channels it into strength, into work, into movement. He trains with it, builds with it, lives with it. Machiavelli believed that great men don't waste time on shallow thrills. Why? Because ease is addictive, and addiction kills potential. But the man who uses tension, rather than running from it, he grows powerful, focused, magnetic. Next time you feel the pull, don't escape it. Don't scroll. Don't reach for relief. Pause. Feel it. Then create something. Lift. Write. Build. Choose the hard thing. Do what demands your presence. Because the man who can sit in his own fire without begging, breaking, or bending becomes rare. He walks into a room and says nothing, yet everyone feels him. This isn't about denial, it's about direction. Power doesn't come from chasing highs. It comes from cultivating purpose. And that kind of presence, it doesn't need to chase anyone. It draws them in. Principle 5. The man who doesn't need her becomes the one she chooses. This is the final truth, and the one most men never grasp. They try to earn their way into intimacy, gifts, flattery, affection. They believe that if they say and do all the right things, she'll finally say yes. But what they miss is this: women don't open up to men who seek to earn them. They open up to men who already feel complete without them. Not needy, not starving, not leaning, but full. If your sense of worth hinges on her presence, she'll feel it. She'll feel the weight of your emotional dependence, and slowly, she'll step back. Machiavelli wrote, "The greatest gift is to not desire what the world desires." Translated for today, when you're the man who wants her, but doesn't need her, you become captivating. Because your energy says, I choose you, but I don't chase you. What does that look like in real life? You miss her. You want to reach out, to text, to talk. But instead of reacting, you pause. You breathe. You ask, is this love or just a craving for comfort? Is this connection or am I escaping loneliness? And if the answer is unclear, you don't act. You sit with the discomfort. You let the desire burn, but you don't move until it aligns with your purpose. And the next time that feeling rises, don't open her story. Don't fish for her attention. Build, lift, surround yourself with men of ambition. Do what nourishes your strength, because true intimacy can't be earned through performance. It's drawn to power, and in a world full of men desperate to be seen, the one who stands firmly in himself becomes unforgettable. If you've made it this far, you've stepped into a truth few men dare to face. Desire doesn't define you. Discipline does. This era doesn't test men with swords. It tests them with seduction, distraction, and the quiet battle of self-betrayal. Most men lose that battle not in public but alone. Scroll by scroll, craving by craving, surrender by surrender. But you won't. Not anymore, because now you understand. The man who can't master his own fire will always be tamed by someone else. But the man who can, he doesn't chase. He commands.